Good morning, South Florida, and welcome to the breakfast at the Brooklyn Cafe TV.
Take a deep breath and a good whiff of that coffee brewing. Grab yourself some toast, a donut, or any breakfast as Dawn and Freddie get you up and ready for the rest of the day.
So call in at 888-565-1470 to share a tip of the day.
Or just to say good morning. Shake off your sleepies, buckle in, because it's showtime.
And good morning.
Good morning. How's your breakfast going again?
I tell you, I feel like I'm going to have another baby.
You can, because it has risen, and it's funny what you said this morning, though. Happy Thursday, everyone. We were talking about, I didn't even think about the semantics of language with Passover, talking about how we don't eat now things that have risen. And Easter is about how Jesus was resurrected, and how his spirit or his body, whatever that belief is you have, has risen. So it's an interesting kind of dichotomy of the two situations, is all I can tell you.
Okay, stop it with the big words, because it's the middle of the day and you're giving me a migraine. Psychosomies and bicosomies. It's risen, baby, risen.
And JoJo had a whole nother take on that yesterday. So JoJo, that's hilarious as well. Happy Thursday. Happy lunchtime, everybody. We had a really funny, I think kind of funny morning show. My son decided to do his impressions that he likes to do, that he thinks in different voices. Most people would think that was like a split personality type of thing, but we didn't seem to blink twice when he said he hears voices in his head, right?
No. Most people are correct. Split personality. I see Sybil male version, all that, because he not only does the voices, he begins to act and look and the whole thing. It's kind of scary.
It's funny because I was going to say, where does he even get that from? And then I know you in my head saying, oh, really? Because he's the male version of me, which was kind of funny. Only he has language.
I got to tell you, can I be honest with you? I see a little Chuck in him. You know, Chuck is the type of guy that when he talks to you, he's analyzing the conversation as he's speaking to you. And I see that your son does the same thing. He's doing E = MC squared, and then he talks. And that's the way attorneys are. The comedy now is where you come in and you're sort of destroying that whole daddy taught me how to do this image thing.
He's funny.
And this people are asking, people are asking whether or not your son will pitch their product in a voice. I tell you, it's a great idea. We have the comedian pitch man.
He absolutely will, because at the moment he's been furloughed or laid off from the law firm that he was working at. So he's taking online classes to finish up his third year. So I'm sure he would be more than happy to pitch product for people. You pick the voice and he'll do it for you.
That's kind of good. Okay, so how do they get in touch with him, Dawn? Do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, it's probably the best way, and then I will give out his number. I don't want to give out his number without asking him. So just get in touch with me or us at the cafe, and we will reach out to Aaron and see what's going on. But it was kind of fun not to talk about what's going on.
Yeah, you're right. I really like the part that he did with Dignity Memorial and Celebrate Your Life. And he did it in that voice. I think it was Bill Clinton he used.
Bill Clinton, that's what you asked him to do.
That was hilarious. That was really fun, but that was good stuff.
And you produced Fuego this morning. They talked about what? Money's coming out next week?
Okay. Now, there's a lot of, and people don't get crazy on me. Fuego this morning with DJ was talking about that they got a report that the stimulus is going to be sent out starting Monday. This coming Monday. I think it's the 13th. It says coming Monday the 13th.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's the 13th. That it's going to start being sent out this Monday. Now, I heard a rumor on Monday that it was going to start this Friday. So everything is still up in the air. They've discovered that the bill they passed, you're better off staying home and letting the government take care of you than going to work. And that's not going to work either. So there's a lot of things going on that they got to fix. Did you go on the unemployment site for Florida? Is it back up or no?
I didn't go on the unemployment site because I'm not unemployed. Just saying.
But you can go. You can go on the site to see if it's working.
I did not, quite honestly. It didn't even occur to me. But I did apply in between our shows. I applied for that EIDL grant money. You know what? I got nothing to lose because we are a small business and we have employees and we have overhead and operating expenses. The worst they say is no, right? So I did put in for that.
Now, let me ask you a question. There's the PPP, ELDI, ABC, EFG, HIJ, and KLG. I mean, what is it with all the letters and all the different things that are coming forward? And I know that we spoke to Lauren yesterday, and we got to get Ian back on the air because now I am more stimulated, confused than ever before in the history of me.
I know. It totally changes, right?
Totally changes. It makes no sense. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. People don't know. People don't know. But however, maybe our guests on the other side of this conversation, maybe they have some more information. But then I got an email from my sister saying that the up to $10,000 grant is an up to $10,000 grant, and they're only going to pay you X amount per employee, $1,000 per employee, up to $10,000. So I don't know. That was an article that she was reading. So it's always changing. We don't know. We don't know until we see what comes forward.
And we don't even know what the program entails. It is constantly changing, but as it changes, we will bring people, professional on to talk about it. And you got to do a little homework. You know, now that you're home, do a little homework, do a little research. And I wanted to ask you about the momentum mindset of one. Right? This is, you know, in Star Trek land, it was this, right? So this is when I see Jane now, I walk around going like this. And I wanted to talk about the mentality, the strong anguish about everything that's going on around us, how to keep it together. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm very close sometimes to a total meltdown.
I see that. I've 100% seen that, as a matter of fact.
Thank you for
100%.
agreeing.
Sorry, but it's you're usually pretty good at hiding some of this stuff, but your soapbox lately, not so good. But you know what I like about that is you're honest, and it shows that you too are affected by all of this. So I really like that, your honesty, so people realize we are people and we have feelings and we're affected by this just as much as everybody else. And we can be up and we can share hope, which I do all the time. Someone said to me this morning, you know, you should make your show about hope. And I looked and I said, but I do that every day. So anyway, I can't think of two other people to join us that have more hope and faith and share their authenticity than Jay Farrow and Janine Davis of Farrow Law Firm and our Momentum Mindset show. And they had another show with us as well that I will let them release that information should they choose to. But the Momentum Mindset show is a show that we have produced for, I want to say, a year and a half already. And it's just been amazing. And they walk the walk and they are authentic in everything they say and everything they do. And, you know, most people don't have the chemistry that you and I have, I guess, thank goodness, because I don't know who could handle what we have, except Jay and Janine have this chemistry, the way they deliver information and the way they collaborate, which is truly spectacular. And they've got a lot going on, so I'm excited to have them join us. Jay Farrow and Janine Davis. Their show airs tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's so good to see you guys. Thank you for having us on.
Well,
This
thank
is
you
like
for taking
two. This is like two TV shows, like Cops, and you ever seen that when they do it on television and they have the crossover? This is what it reminds me of. This is like the giant crossover.
How great is this, right?
Oh my God. I'm so glad that we were able to get this together. Jay's been working like a fiend, an absolute law fiend. And so when I kind of like wink, crossed my fingers and reached out to him and said, hey, would you like to be on the show? And I got a yes. I was so excited that he would be joining, because of course I could be here on my own and it would be amazing, let's say, but two are better than one. So.
This is like a vacation from my routine. So when Janine invited me to this, it was like going to the Bahamas. The thing that keeps me sane, the thing that I've kept for the last 3 weeks is routine. Is eating at a particular time during the day and working out 2 hours a day. I mean, and for me, that's what it takes to keep my mind focused and out of the dole of despair. And like
Yeah.
everybody else, my family has been affected by the virus. My uncle is fighting for his life right now up in St. Augustine, and then my aunt also can't visit him at the hospital. She's also got the diagnosed with the virus. So um, it's certainly out there, and I know that my fiance is at the hospital right now. So we're being safe, and it does require a mindset, the momentum mindset. So thanks for having us on the show today. It truly is
Yeah,
a
thank you. So
welcome
I
break
wanted to,
from.
oh, sorry, Jay, go ahead.
No, I'm finished. Go ahead.
Not being like in front of you, I can't see exactly when you're done, so I apologize. So yeah, I want to address for all of us and bring a little bit of normalcy or to speak into a little bit of normalcy of all of the different collective feels, right? So right now, this is not just happening to South Florida. It's not just happening to our community. There's a collective Earth pandemic going on right now. I mean, I try very hard not to see any news because my heart breaks every time I hear something. I saw something about how there's no treatment available for people in Gaza. I was like, oh God, my head just started exploding even more. So, trying to isolate myself a little bit from that news because my own anxiety doesn't help anybody else's. In other words, I can't make myself anxious enough to actually help anybody else, right? So, but I speak into the normalcy of this because this is something unforeseen. This is something that none of us have ever experienced, right? And so we obviously don't have a stored memory bank that we can recall and say, oh, okay, this is how I dealt with it back in 1978 when this happened, or whatever. We were literally creating, as we're going through this, new ways of coping, new ways of processing a world that has literally changed overnight. Now, did we see it coming? That's open for debate all day long, and I certainly don't want to get political about that. But I think it's really important to honor the feelings that you're experiencing because there's no handbook for any of this. There's no handbook like, oh, you should just be thankful you're breathing. Yes, be thankful you're breathing. And we also have many other things to consider that, again, we don't have a handbook for. That being said, though, I would urge people to certainly honor your feelings of anxiety and I think feeling lost and sort of unsettled is really a big part of this. But I would also urge people to not stay there for as long as they can muster. It's really important that we all understand that this new world that is being created as a result of this is something that we get to step into. We get to discover new ways and discover new strengths within ourselves. So while we honor the anxiety to an extent, it's also important to start looking within ourselves to figure out ways that make sense to us individually to keep going in
Yeah,
You
but
know
spite
what
let
I'm
me.
of.
finding, Janine? What I
Pardon?
find is, here's what I find. I can have this thought and say, yes, I got this, and I'm good for like an hour, maybe two.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then this roller coaster begins, right? And you here, and then you
Yes.
go here, and
Yep.
then you're here, and then you're back here, and
Yep.
all within an hour, you can go like
Yeah.
this.
Absolutely. But this is part of honoring it, right? So let's be grateful for that. And kind of what I'm saying, and thank you for even what you're saying now, is speaking into that. Let's hold on to the hour or two, or however many minutes or hours that you can put together in any one given day that you're not on that roller coaster and start feeding that momentum because it's very normal to be experiencing that roller coaster. There's no way that anybody can be going through this, no matter how strong you are, no matter what your background is, no matter if you're a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a person development, whoever you are going to experience all of these feelings. So I don't want to vilify the feelings or judge them in any way. I think it's really important to honor them And when you have those twilights or those little moments of like, everything is going to be okay, relish those
But what
moments.
about, but Janine, what about people who are beginning to learn that maybe there's more about them? There are people that I talk to every day that just they're not even in the game because they don't even know who they are, and this is forcing us to come forward. And good, bad, or indifferent. If it's weak, you got to make it stronger. If it's strong, then you have to learn how to share it. What do you do? And I'm going to pose this question to the two of
But
you. What do you do if you don't even
it,
know who you are yet?
Jay?
who am I? Who am I without my job? Who am
Yeah.
I without who am I? And this goes to identity, and we talk a lot about this in personal development. As far as right, who am I without my pain, without my stories, without my job, without my career? If I am not leaving the house at a certain time to go bring home the bacon, and now I'm out of a job, what is my value? What is my who am I without this? When this started, I went right into routine. I know what time I'm going to wake up. I know I'm going to eat my 6 meals a day. I know what time I'm going to go and walk my dog a couple of times a day and take the half an hour because I saw this to be a long-term thing. I don't see anybody recoalescing and coming back in the next few months like we did before. There's still going to be a lot of this. Now, I have pre-existing conditions that concern me with my health. That if I were to get sick, I might be one of those that it might hit worse than others. So I'm being extremely careful. But the moments that I'm getting into those funks, I at least know what I have next coming up, and to just do that next thing. My life. I mean, I have about 3 coaches that I work with on a weekly basis that I speak to for an hour. I've been working on my music, and then I've been posting on Facebook. But I can only imagine, when I used to go to the office every single day for like 4 to 5 hours. But now it's like not going to the office. I feel out of sorts, and for the last week, my fiance has been home because she's not been on service. She's not been the attending physician. So it's been awkward for us both to be here during the day. It's not normal. Who are we without being who we are, being on the telephone and being in service to another human being? And when I'm not interacting with other human beings in a job that requires me that I love interacting with human beings, I supplement to figure out what that is. Now, one thing I have noticed though is that in my neighborhood, people are out playing. It took them a week and a half, but they're out playing ball. They're playing with their kids. They're going for walks. People are running, old, young, and it's like I've not seen this much physical activity since I was a kid. When I remember going out and seeing kids play in the yard, I don't think there was an afternoon that my friends and I weren't out playing in the street. So it's quite remarkable to see how people are adapting to this. But it is getting into a routine. It is finding out who am I through this. What do I get to create from this? Because they're talking about this stuff going on through August, social distancing. So it is a conversation.
I find interesting, and Jay, I love your post so much. And I've told Janine this last week. There's so many facets of both of you. And Janine, as a life coach, we understand her space, at least as a woman, I understand her space a little bit more. You, with everything that you've gone through, your past, your music, your piano, as you guys both have this law firm and the Momentum Mindset Show, there are so many facets to who you are and what you do. The post I was so remarked about was when you talked about bullying the other day, about as a kid. It makes me think about that because you said the kids are outside playing now, right? Our kids have stopped going outside to play. We talk all the time. They're in this video gaming world now. But now it's changing, and the bullying and all of that. It's so remarkable that you actually honed into this. Made me think then of Janine, how Janine as her life coach looks at these situations. Their transparency of what you guys do always amazes me. And we've produced your show for a long time. And I never know what to expect from you guys, which I think I find fascinating, Freddie.
We're a box of chocolates.
You are.
No, the funny thing is that after people watch the show, the comments that are put on afterwards, that's what I get blown away by. I see the numbers. I get to see the numbers on all your boards because we put it out in multiple places, 40 places, some that you know, some that you don't know. But the comments that come back is the interesting aspect of this thing. And I like what Jay's saying. I mean, you have to get to know who you are.
Yes.
You got to start here. And Jay, you and I are in the same boat. I mean, I'm a diabetic. I have to be extra careful. I got a message today from the CDC saying that if you're a diabetic, what a normal person does, you're going to have to add another layer. So if you're indoors for 2 weeks, they want me to stay indoors for 4 weeks. I'm a guy that works in the street. You know, I do production. My job is to go out there. I got to fight myself. I got to fight myself here. I got to try to be creative. And then I have to take in, because a lot of people don't understand what you guys do. They don't understand what we do. And you have to sort of have a little patience and a little bit more patience. And when you run out of patience, you got to have a cup of coffee. You got to have another little bit more patience because they have to catch up. So I really admire what you guys do. And on both shows, I know we're not talking about the other one, but on both shows, I see the numbers. I know what people are saying. I understand how they feel, and they feel better when you guys bring it forward. And that's why I want to thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you. And I want to speak into what Don was saying about how, thank you for acknowledging us and all of the different aspects of what Jay and I do together and separately too. Jay has his music. I do mine with mine. I'm, in talks with my voice coach. Are we going to do voice lessons on Zoom or Skype or whatever it takes? But I want to speak into that. So Jay and I are not unique in the sense that what we're doing that I think would be so beneficial to other people during this time, speaking into the identity crisis. What I mean by Jay and I are not unique is that all of us, every single human being, has an incredible amount of different aspects of themselves to nurture, to hone, talents, proclivities, interests, all kinds of different things. And so sometimes our identity is so anchored in just one, for example, job, profession, or maybe two, job and parent, right? But all of our other dreams and aspirations, like if you want to write, or if you want to draw, or if you want to, create something, you've let that all go by the wayside. And one of the things that we've done, I don't think even on purpose, but almost because we can't help it, is to honor other aspects of ourselves. Because we cannot do everything that we do without also honoring, for example, music. I cannot live without music. It doesn't exist for me. But it took me a long time to give myself permission to do that. So when people are saying to themselves at home, who am I now that I don't go to work to 9 to 5? This is a beautiful place to start. You are so many things other than what you always thought you were. And now is a time to allow yourself to give permission to get curious about, what did you like when you were a kid? What really interested you? Did you want to look at stars? Are you interested in astronomy? Are you interested in philosophy? Are you interested in mathematics? Are you interested in, inventing something? Are you there's so many different aspects to us that have fallen asleep in our busyness. And right now we're all forced to, our lives have come to a screeching halt in many ways, the way we knew it, right? And now we're forced to reinvent ourselves. And
everybody has a choice. And everybody has a choice right now to either sit on their tuchus and watch Netflix, or check out with alcohol and mind-numbing news.
Right.
I mean, and I to the realization, when Washington wants my opinion, they're going to call me, they're going to text me, they know my number. But until that day happens, I'm going to stay in my lane. Because right now, I can only watch it and get frustrated and come up with my own righteous opinions about everything going on up there, or I can write my book, or I can write on Facebook, or I can come up with new legal strategies for the people that I serve in my law practice. That's my choice. I mean, and my Netflix, confession, I watched The Tiger King, all of it. And it was delicious and fascinating, and I want more. And I read for what it was.
Wait.
Distracted. Vacation.
Whoa. Hey, You watch the Tiger King?
I know he sends me this message
basically
about the
It's
Tiger
actually, let me tell you something about the Tiger
King.
King.
Yeah, tell me. I want to hear this.
It's Perry Mason in a different way. But I'm going to tell you something, and I haven't shared this with anybody except for Janine. In episode 3, in the Tiger King, there's a lawyer who happens to be my opposing counsel in Tampa. And I'm watching the Tiger King, and here this guy pops up. I'm like, you can't make this up. This guy he wasn't representing the Tiger King. I think he was representing the guy that died. But once that episode 3 hit and that guy was in it, I was like, okay, this is just like a whodunit legal program. And then there's a federal court case, and there's a guy in jail. So it's really a law program. So that's why, it's Trump paid. And yesterday, President Trump was asked if he was going to give a pardon to the Tiger King. And he said, I'm going to look into it.
Trump is so afraid. Trump is so afraid to say anything right now. He's looking into everything. But I cannot believe. Hey, Linda, we got to go to episode 3. I cannot believe that you watch Tiger King. I watched 2. And I'm going to tell you, I was out. I can't watch that show.
My niece.
Here's what happened. I haven't watched TV for so long, I forgot how to use it. So when my fiance turned on Netflix and let go of the first thing, and then she went to do her thing, they're 45-minute shows. So then I couldn't. By the time I knew it, I was in episode 3. I was just like I was doing some stuff. I was cooking and I was going back and forth, and all of a sudden I was into episode 3. And then I got hooked. And I saw I'm like, yeah, I know this guy. I was just in Tampa, going up against this guy. And I'm going to reach out to him because he's now more famous than I am.
We got to get Jay on Tiger King.
I got to tell you, when I told my niece, I said to my niece, Jay sent me this random text about Tiger King. Do you know anything about it? She goes, yeah, I'm watching it, but I can only watch one episode at a time. It's too crazy. I'm like, okay, no, makes sense now.
I wanted to cry. It was horrible. Now I'm going to go to episode 3 because now I have a reason,
Right.
That's what hooked me in. When all of a sudden this lawyer came in, it was like, you cannot make this stuff up, and so listen, this has been the last couple of weeks for our business has been quite a roller coaster. I mean, we had some things come up of left field, and now it's like, you want to talk. One day, we're going to do a show, I think, Janine, and we're going to call it Lawyer King or something like that. And we're going to talk about what's happened in the last couple of weeks, because you really can't make this up, and it has to do with one of my largest cases, and we'll see. But it's going back to what I was saying before. You get to choose what you want to do during this time period, and I can understand how Netflix can be very addicting. So I'm glad I don't know how to use my television set with all of the, got all these things that you can go and all these movies you can check out. And I don't even know what happened to the regular channels, those 13 things that you were, I couldn't find CBS if you asked me to. But I have been, I have been to do a lot of the journaling and the music. Like Janine was just saying, I can't live without the music either. And connecting with my family. But I know that there's a lot of people that reach out to me, Freddie, like they reach out to you and they're like, what do I do? And this is like, you get to figure out who you are. The universe gave us all a timeout. And I wrote this, I don't remember getting a timeout as a kid when I was doing something right. So check in with everybody. I would say check in and say, okay, I have this blank space to do things that I've never had the chance to do.
Yes.
And wait, what I wanted to do when I was 4 years old. What were my dreams? And how could I use this time to shift my entire life? Because you could either do that, or you become a Tiger King,
Tiger King. Episode 3.
Fanatic.
Yeah, right. And so it is a time for us to really kind of go within. Now, this kind of like going within language, people are like, what are you even talking about? What do you mean going within? This is actually part of the issue, right? We're so unfamiliar. Even the concept of like, where am I going to? What do you mean going within? Because our entire life expression is out. My job, my husband, my everything else, everybody else, my kids, my accolades, my diplomas on the wall, my this, my that, my itch, my twitch. We don't even know who we are as people. So no wonder the level of anxiety is way, way beyond. It's even more more than the fact that our incomes have been compromised, which, by the way, there's many ways, coronavirus or lack of income. I don't know. Who's going to take out more? Let's see. Let's do a poll. I don't know. But the thing is that this is a collective, like, who are we really? And most people are not even aware of a choice of who they are. So this is really a humbling experience for the collective of humanity, because again, this isn't a United States problem. This is a pandemic that has taken literally over every single crevice of the planet. Everyone is being affected by this. Some people have dealt with it differently, better, worse, whatever the case may be. The conspiracy theories on, China are like through the roof. Okay. But this is where we are as a collective. And so starting to inject some ideas about who am I? What am I about? What can I choose out of all of this? Other than just anesthetizing with Netflix, which, by the way, I don't judge anybody for doing that, because this stuff is really heavy. And
I like
the conspiracy theory that I'm following is that some crazy personal development guy met some geneticist who created the coronavirus for all of us to figure out who we are in about 6 months' time. Just giving the entire world a timeout, stay at home, and figure out who you really are to make this world a better place. Because all I know is that you see pictures of the cities with clean air, and you see pictures of the smog from Shanghai is gone, and the smog from Los Angeles is gone, and people have all this time to spend with their families. You would think that this was like the blessing of all blessings, where people actually get to connect with their kids, to have a part in their education for a few months, to have actual real meals where you're not going out to dinner all the time, to sit down and go outside and play. You would think God himself created this moment in time. And yes, I understand some people are sick and dying, and that's a big deal. But looking at this from any perspective that I want to look at this, people do die all the time. I mean, there are arguments out there that 370,000 people die of cancer every single year, and people are going through this, and there's ways to prevent it. But the ways to prevent this thing by staying at home, the social distancing, does give us this space to spend with ourselves, to spend with our families, and to truly to do things that just to write a journal. I mean, to come out with start writing a book, reading a book.
Jay, let me ask you a question.
Thing to happen in a long time.
I think it's the fear. I think it's the fear of the unknown. I think it's the fear of whether or not, how do we pay our bills? Now, there's a lot of stuff coming about renting, people who rent, people who have mortgages, deferred payment and all that. My son calls me every day to tell me another story. And he says to me, Dad, because my son, for some reason, insurance is an essential. So he's allowed to go to the office and go home. Don't ask me why, but it is. He says, there are more people on the road now than I've ever seen in the last 2 weeks, because I guess people just can't stay home anymore. But what about the fear of not knowing whether or not you're going to get a paycheck, whether or not you're going to feed your kids? What if you got 4 kids, 2 cats, a goldfish, a mortgage? What do you do when you look at the wall and you say, what do I do now?
You know what, Freddie? Let's go to commercial break. Jay, let's talk about it when we come back. As they say, let's talk about it on the other side. Stay tuned as we thank our sponsors, Jay Farrow, Janine Davis of the Farrow Law Firm and the Momentum Mindset Show. Stay tuned, and we will be right back. If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com. Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You know, every time you play that rejoin, I hear Steve-O from New York Sound's voice, and I look around and says, where is he? I'm not used to this whole thing.
Dawn and Freddie. I have to tell you, Freddie, I love our two guests that we have joining us because Jay Farrow and Janine Davis of the Farrow Law Firm, they have been with us since, oh my gosh, when we were back in the gallery for so long, and to watch
It's been a year and a half.
And they push every week, and you push and you grow and you jump in feet first, head first. Sometimes I think Jay does. And
Totally.
you guys, right? It's like, we're going to do it. And I look at you and I go, you sure you want to do that? And you go, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? And you guys go full in. I don't even know if you think it, but you do it anyway.
We pucker our focuses a little bit and we do it anyway.
Are we allowed to talk about what they do for a living?
Yeah, let's talk about the law firm for a little bit, you guys, because I want people to know who you are and what you do. Perhaps they need your services.
Sure. We'd
Well,
be happy.
the law firm's vision has always been one of supporting the underdog. I mean, I've been in business since 2008, and we've done all different types of work, usually for people that wouldn't otherwise have a voice in the law. I mean, I had focused at some time trying foreclosure cases right after the financial crisis, and I've always been involved in some work related to forensic fraud. In the foreclosure crisis, there's a ton of fraud having to do with bank transfers and note transfers, and we were very successful in taking the cases to trial and winning them during the 2009 through 2015. And now we clients, really focusing on the Civil Remedies for Criminal Practices Act, which relates to civil racketeering and federal civil racketeering. And we call it supporting people to stand up to the bullies in their life, corporate bullies, partners that are bullies, and we've had our share of the fingers always pointed at us. You know, when we are calling out the bad guys, the bullies will bully. And I have, and from my vision for the law firm comes from my personal experience with bullies growing up, where, you know, and I write about this quite a bit on my Facebook feed about what it feels like to feel like there's no hope. And I wrote about this the other day, as Dawn was mentioning, about something that just came up to me where it was a traumatic experience where I was actually laughing with the bullies as they were making fun of me and my family, just so that way, you know, I was kind of part of the cool kid club for a little bit. But I've always found myself more or less standing up with people who would otherwise have no hope, and, you know, finding solutions to not stand right in front of the punch, so to speak, but supporting them to find their voice in the law. And it's really a David versus Goliath story. And a lot of times in this line of work, we become the targets. I would say, you know, like 95% of the time, we become the targets of the bully's wrath, because of course it's big bad Jay Farrow and Farrow Law Firm and not what they're doing. And, you know, sometimes that hurts. And I was talking to Janine a little bit about this, and I've reached out to many lawyers as of late about how it feels when the bullies attack the lawyers that are attacking them, which is some of the stuff that's we're going through right now. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I can understand why so many people feel so hopeless, because it takes a lot to stand up and for yourself. And it's not just in the beginning of it, because anybody can stand up in the beginning of a fight. You know, it's just getting through the entire experience, knowing that someone's going to stick by your side no matter what comes at us. And mind you, that does take its toll, especially during these times, during the coronavirus, where we're all at home, where we don't have that comfort of talking to, you know, my office staff in person, or to other lawyers in person about what the strategies might be, or even my clients in person. I mean, you know, some of the bullies have used this particular time to be at their worst. And that's some of what we've been going through, and some of what we've been experiencing lately. And it's unfortunate. For example, I mean, I know some people that are serving nonsensical lawsuits during this time period. I actually stopped my law firm from serving lawsuits during this peak portion of the crisis, because I felt that person-to-person contact is inappropriate. I think that it's giving. I've been giving people the opportunity to accept a lawsuit that's just been filed without having a process server knock on their door, because I want to take that piece away from them. I don't think that. But there's some some bullies are using this thing because they can to run, duck, cover, but yet throw punches. And so we're very proud of the work we do. We do jump in with you know, head first, no matter how cold the water might be. When we know. And when we know that really what we're trying to do is also disrupt the practice of law to the extent that instead of litigation, there's other alternative methods to resolving cases. And while, you know, we've designed our practice to use those, it doesn't always work immediately. And what I'm saying is that we attempt to resolve cases before they're even filed. We believe in getting possible up front, and then and trying to save both parties money, because what happens is the real hostage takers here are lawyers. The only winners in 3 to 5 years of litigation are the hourly attorneys. And we find that people get really bad advice just because you think that you can win or there's a legal strategy. There's so much more that goes into a lawsuit than just the law. It's the sleepless nights that everybody goes through, that everybody experiences.
The cost that you can't quantify on a spreadsheet.
Right. So when a lawyer gets one of my pre-suit letters, and they want to be, you know, they want to show how smart they are, there's a spot for that, sure. But instead of just, you know, trying to, you know, resolve the case for it, they're looking at this as a 3 to 5 year meal ticket. And it's unfortunate that the lawyers become the hostage takers, and the real ones that are holding their clients up from actually getting in and out and on with life. Because what would end up happening in in our paradigm is to go to a Florida Supreme Court certified mediator where the parties can resolve their case before and see what can resolve. But this takes a little bit of outside the box thinking on the other side too.
Yeah.
You know, and I have
Janine,
lawyers.
can you address some of that,
big
Janine?
lawyers-
Because you
Yeah.
guys don't always, and I know Janine runs a lot of the other parts of your practice with you. Let's address how the Farrow Law Firm and what you offer is different than the hourly billing. This is something we haven't talked about in a little while on our show.
Right. So we believe in what's called a flat fee, right? So we surmise or we try to calculate until a certain point in the case what it could cost you, because a client's biggest fear is the monthly bill, right? Because the lawyer thought about something in the shower, there you go, there's X amount of dollars. Or because, whatever. And not to say that that's not a real thing, because the truth is that I know Jay's thinking about this 24 hours a day. How do you ultimately even quantify that? I'm not even an attorney, and I'm constantly thinking about it myself. So we feel that the flat fee is something that's fair for both parties. And part of that is really to create a relationship with our clients. I think that what makes us distinct also is that I have this thing and a lot of our clients have it, my number, and I'm with them in such a way that they feel comfortable calling, because there is an enormous amount of anxiety that is triggered by litigation. And where I think that attorneys fail and what they don't see, it's kind of like, to an extent, they don't have the bandwidth really, or even really the desire to sort of address that part of the human being. But this is something that our practice is very dedicated to. And that's where I come in. My communication with Jay and our associate attorney is really crucial because ultimately I'm giving the majority of the updates to clients. I'm the one who is taking the phone call when they're like, oh my God, what's happening? What is this? What about this? What if this? What if that? And I'm sort of the voice of like, okay, let me hear you out. Let me give you the space to kind of process your anxiety. And let's work on it together. While Jay's doing all of the legal aspect of it, which is incredible, and it's such hard work. And it takes a lot of creativity and heart and all kinds of different things to make that happen. I'm also addressing the real component of really being in relationship with people, which is they want to know, they want to hear a voice, they want to hear that something is happening on their case, even though it may seem slow going at times, or things are happening so quickly, what do I do, et cetera, or when we get stuck, what is the next step, et cetera, et cetera. So we bring that aspect of the law to our clients that I think most people don't have that experience when they're dealing with an attorney.
How do people reach you guys? How do they find the Farrow Law Firm? What types of businesses, cases are you taking on? What types of clients are you working with?
We're working with individuals and small businesses who have had experienced a breach of contract, a partner dispute, have been the victims of fraud, negligence, any kind of things like that. And we also service in small part people who have run-ins with the law, and a criminal component. We're varied in that sense, although our niche is really in the sort of like personal or small business that has gotten themselves into this sort of hairy area where they have been stolen from in some way, shape, or form.
And some of our niche practice has to do with very successful business people who have been the target of massive fraud. I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, the loneliest person in the world can be a very wealthy person because they don't think that they have any place to go to because no one's going to hear them out. No one's going to feel bad for them. And yet these people are targeted all the time for investment fraud, or the people are so wealthy they're not going to miss the money. I mean, I have some clients that have been very blessed financially, and yet they are targets by even their friends. And the thing is, everybody swims in the same social circles. So it's hard for these people to say, as they're sitting dinner next to their friends at dinner, this person's ripping me off for $30,000 on this one particular deal that we worked out together. And while this person's just smiling at them, like pretending like it's okay, it's an epidemic in that world. And so it's like anybody can be the victim of a bully. Just because you have money doesn't make you immune. And that's what one of the things that we found here is that the silent, wealthy people that they don't feel like that they're too rich to care. And that's even the conversation I've heard. It's like, I didn't want anybody to know that I wasn't that rich, that I was not going to miss $30,000.
Right. Right. And then feel like what happens too, Jay, pardon me, is that these people, anybody in this situation has tried to sort themselves out for years and sometimes trying to appeal to the person who's ripped them off for years in some cases. And sometimes when all else fails, you do get to employ an attorney to use the law to stand up for yourself. And I would say to people that I would encourage people to do that all the time, because we have a particular case that I'm thinking about right now. This person languished hopelessly for years. And this case and the theft that this person has experienced has really rattled them, has left them extremely shaken. It has literally taken a massive toll on their health, on their well-being, on their peace of mind. And this is what people, I would urge people to consider. We often think of employing an attorney as a financial transaction, right? In order to recoup finances. But there are other components to employing an attorney. It's getting back your peace of mind, finally putting to bed and resolving something that you tried unsuccessfully to resolve on your own. That's why we all need each other. We're seeing now more than ever, it's a very round world. We all need each other somehow, some way. And so this is an opportunity, I think, for people to really spring clean their lives. And don't give up just because of things haven't gone your way for a certain period of time and you've exhausted all of your remedies. Reach out for help if you need it.
How do they find you? How do they reach out to both of you?
They can reach us by telephone at 954-252-9818. And they can also visit us on the web at www.farrowlawfirm.com and also on our Facebook page, Farrow Law Firm.
And before we go, give us a little snippet of tomorrow night's show.
The new normal.
I'm going to be talking about routine and focus. As you've asked, Freddie was asking about what do you do about this worry and some of that. You can be focused on the worry or focus on the solution. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about creating a routine and using this time and space to actually do something that you've been wanting to do for a long time.
Absolutely. Who do you choose to be when the certainty that we think we had is no more? We get to create our own.
Fantastic. Love you guys so much. Stay safe.
Thank you. We love you guys. Thank you for having us on.
6 o'clock on WWN. You guys be safe.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye. Freddie, I love them. They're just amazing. They are so always authentically who they are, and truly remarkable what they do. And I always think of Jay's comments crack me up sometimes. Remember a couple weeks ago he talked about cleaning between his toes and how it was taking too much time? I know. Some of the things are hilarious, but they are so good at what they do. And in my heart of hearts, I know what is going on right now globally, I think is going to explode their business. And I don't want to talk about it on air, but I'll talk to them tomorrow in person. There's a lot going on in the world, and they walk the walk, and I forget of Jay's health compromise situations, of why he's been home for so long. You don't think about it so much in different people because they're on the outside. They have this physical being. You forget sometimes the transformation that brought them to where they are. And they've got the Momentum Mindset Show. They're putting together a coaching program, and I can't wait for that to come out as well. Jay and Janine, they're amazing.
Now, also, I got good news. The market is up again 500 points today. I got good news there. Also, the CDC has said they are going to allow people who have had the virus and have gotten better or back, because there's a lot of people, they are going to allow them to get back to work. New mandate that was just sent in. So
Fantastic.
it's never going to be the same. Listen, the handshake is something gone. This is not going to happen anymore. I see elbows, I see feet, I see waves, I see this, I see also, that's gone. So that's going to be gone for a very, very long time. But we're looking for little glimpses of a little bit of the old with a lot of the new, and we just got to keep going. But that's a good sign that the market is back up. The economy is back up. Federal Reserve is going to put in $2.3 trillion into the economy. Is that going to be enough? Probably not, Dawn. We just got to get back to work, get everybody here, momentum mindset, got to get everybody here, and then we'll pray and see what happens.
I am in. We have been working and we continue to work, and you're going to see we can actually play it between the shows. Our production house, the AMP Media Productions, that is the house that houses all of our shows, from the Brooklyn Cafe show to Momentum Mindset, Becky and Boca shows, Kids in Capes. It is under the umbrella of AMP Media Productions, is our production house. This is not just a show that we do. We are a production company, and we're here to share airtime with you. We have airtime available whether you want a streaming platform, whether you want real radio, AM and FM, along with the streaming platform, WWNN and AMP2. They are the only co-joined forces to bring the video streaming to AM and FM frequency, and it is right here locally. And because of the technology and the platforms that you and Gio have been able to create, we can do this now without anyone having to be in studio. So yes, we can still get you on AM and FM radio from the comforts of your home or office while all of this is evolving. And then we go back to studio that holds a 12-person audience, as well as our theater that holds up to 50. So a lot of things that have happened. It's just about sharing the opportunities with all of you. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, you're going to see our new logo, how that has unfolded, plus some amazing commercials. And we're going to talk to Leslie Carmen of Carmen Care Wellness Institute, see how she is doing on the other side. So stay tuned. Grab a cup of water or a cup of coffee, is Freddie's case. John DeMarco, we love you, and we will see you in a few.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, Clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
Well, we're back. What a great hour. What a great show. Do you feel just like all of this light and brightness happening right now? You feel like the gates of light opening and we're actually walking through and saying, you know what, we got this on the other side?
No.
No, because, your glass isn't even half full anymore. I think your glass is bordering empty. I got to get Slick on the line. Because Slick, it is literally empty. His cup is not half full. His cup is not half empty. You are like on droplets at the bottom of your cup. Pick it up, Buttercup. We got work to do is all I can say.
No, that's not true. I appreciate that they came on because I feel better. I have a half empty pool. I would like to fill it with more water. Yes. I would like to see more people participate and doing more. I know that we spoke to some new friends from Texas and other parts of the country that are going to zoom in here as soon as you get to them and talk to them. But there's a lot of work to be done. There's still stuff that has to be done. I know that there are other people that are proclaiming that what they do is the new norm, like videoing is the new norm. And it's not about the videoing. It's about the message. It's what you're going to do with it. It's like what Jay said. Find out who you are.
They are. I love them. Jay Farrow and Janine Davis, Farrow Law Firm. You can contact them for more information of how they can help you. And if you cannot find them, get in touch with us and we will be happy to. They are located in Davie, but they will work with you however they need to, whether through streaming right now, in their office when things open up. But they are always there to service so many people. So thank them again. And we've got Leslie from Carmen Care joining us on this show. And what I'd like to do after we bring Leslie in, I want to continue on with your platform. Leslie has had many 30-minute shows with us, I guess for lack of a better word, under Tell Us Your Biz. And I'd like to bring her into our Amp Media Productions platform and let her share what she's doing and just deliver her information so people understand what's happening in the world of holistic healing. It's a little bit different.
Perfect. I think that Leslie also has an announcement. I think Leslie, correct me if I'm wrong, but you put out a post that you're going to be doing something, I think, tonight at 8 o'clock?
Yes, so on the Carmen Care website, we're going to be, Facebook, we're going to be introducing how you can bring thieves into your life, which, helps with the bacteria and with a safer way to keep yourself healthy and clean, which is really important right now. Because if you're using a lot of hand sanitizers, which we have to do, but you know me, I'm always talking about these toxins, right? So it's unfortunately a lot of toxins also that you're absorbing in your skin. And, so it's like a catch, what are you going to do? Are you going to wash your hands? It'll be better. Just wash your hands instead of always putting, these sanitizers on your hand, unless it can be one that is from thieves that's not toxic or that you make your own, because it's just your skin is the biggest organ in your body. And that's where you absorb all these toxins. So, yes, we have to be careful, but we also have to be careful not to put toxins, into our body. So that's going to be an educational part that's also going to be featured with Dr. Carla. She's fabulous. She's an anesthesiologist and has completely converted to, being natural and having a toxic-free home. And she's just brilliant how she can explain all these things. And there's going to be a lot of information on there.
Fantastic. What time is it at?
It's going to be at 7 o'clock, I think it starts, if I'm not mistaken. It says it there on the thing. I should actually know that, but I think it's 7, yeah.
I got the notice this morning, and I wanted to point out that hand sanitizer is not a replacement for soap. Okay, right. A lot of people think that if you use pounds and gallons of hand sanitizer that you're doing stuff. Number one, the hand sanitizer has to be good, right? Because they got cheapy weepies on the market. And number two, there's nothing better than soap and water. Is that correct?
Absolutely. No, there's really nothing better. And the good thing is to really wash well, do those 20 minutes. And when I was doing the CNA license, that's the certified nurse's assistant, you're learning you have to wash your hands. If you just split or splatter, do something like you don't pass. It's like the most important part. You've got to wash it 25 seconds. If you do 24, you fail as well.
Leslie, you said 20 minutes. If I wash my hands for 20 minutes, I'll be a skeleton.
20 seconds. I'm sorry. 25 seconds it is. I'm sorry. See, it's getting, the time's getting to me. There's no more time, days. We're just floating in this zone, right? But I wanted to ask you, Freddie, is it okay if I'm still on this show? Because I saw Tiger King too.
Oh my God.
Well,
Did you watch the whole thing?
Actually, Emily and I, we made a big bowl of popcorn, and we binge watched it.
Oh my God. And you know what? It is number one watch show. Number one. I couldn't stay awake.
I know. You know what? I will love seeing the animals. It's beautiful. And you kind of think on one side he was so good to the animals, but then again he wasn't on one side. So it's very conflicting, but it was just interesting to see how someone could lead a completely different life like that. I mean, it gives you a perspective of, wow, what they were doing and how these animals actually really I don't want to say aren't dangerous, because obviously they are, but I never knew that you could really be so close to such a big animal. And I mean, his face is there and he's kissing them and they're just there and they're hugging him. And it just gave me an insight that these animals actually have a heart and can feel for humans. That was an interesting part of it.
Do you know, Dawn, that there are more animals in people's possession that she's talking about than they are in the entire world? More tigers in people's possession than they are in the whole entire world?
What do you mean? People have tigers?
If you were to add people's possessions of holding tigers in their homes, there are more tigers by number than the tigers that are running free in the world.
Yeah, the whole thing was on the black market. He was selling baby tigers for $3,000. I mean, I don't even think that's that much money for a tiger, really. And people are taking these little cubs in, and they have them in their home.
He even sold animals to zoos, to real zoos that lost animals, they lost tigers. He will replenish or replace them for a cut rate. But the fact is that there are more tigers in captivity in people's homes than there are in the free world. I mean, think about that. That's just crazy.
Crazy, insane.
Oh my gosh. How's Emily doing, Leslie?
I'm sorry. Emily, she's doing she's doing very well. She's enjoying. We're so fortunate. I mean, I count my blessings every day that we're here with my mom. I'm taking care of her. She's taking care of us. So, and I can live in her house with a pool. So I'm just unbelievably thankful that I have that opportunity. And so Emily's enjoying that as well. She's in the pool and she's, doing some work and doing some more drawings, and we're working together on some things that we're doing. So it's working out okay for us. Thank goodness.
I want to ask you a question. I don't even know why I'm asking you this question. Has Emily ever written a book?
Well, she hasn't, but we're in the process of writing our book together. So we're going to do our story together from my perspective and then from her perspective, and then how we meet in the middle, and how, the feelings I had and expectations and fears that I had, and then her expectations and fears. Because from my side, it's a really big responsibility to have parents and bring their daughter from England all the way here, and us really being her last hope. That's a real big responsibility. And, so we're going to share my side of it and also her side of it, knowing that she's fought for this for so many years, seen so many specialists, and they're literally coming from England to us to see if they can get her better, and their whole fears and thoughts and everything. And then at the end, obviously, we all know how the ending is, that she's doing fabulous. And I've been living with her now for a month, I think it is here. And she's just great. She's swimming every day. We're doing weightlifting every day. And she's brilliant in writing. And what I think is the most beautiful thing now is that she can actually write and express her feelings, where before she couldn't even say a sentence because her mind just wouldn't work anymore. She couldn't even
This
think.
child she came to you in a wheelchair, right? I mean, when she was first diagnosed.
Yep, she was 16 years old and had been in bed for I think it was 2.5 years. And just her situation was getting worse and worse. And she just didn't know what to do anymore. And then when she saw that BuzzFeed video, our name was on there. And so she called us and we set up a Skype call like we're doing, very similar to what we're doing now. And we got to know each other. And then so we all decided, that will be the best thing for her to come here. And we did that 21-day protocol that we do. And she got completely better.
Now, tell us what her diagnosis was when she was in England. What did they say was her condition?
It's called ME, like chronic fatigue. And chronic fatigue, it's just a label. It's just like basically fibromyalgia. It's like, what is it? And chronic fatigue just means that you're constantly tired. You have pain everywhere. Everybody has a different way of experiencing that. In her case, she just had terrible brain fog. Her whole body hurt. She had stomach ache. She would be throwing up. She would be just feeling so sick. And she had just pain all over her body, and that would move all over. So she couldn't walk properly. And if she was explaining to us, which is just, so sad, she would have to decide, what am I going to do? Am I going to take a shower today? Or am I going to, try to go and go downstairs? So those were her decisions, like if she would have to go to a doctor, then she couldn't do anything else because that would take so much out of her to have to get into the car and go to the doctor and come home. She'd be exhausted for days. So she had to decide, what is it that I'm going to do today? What energy do I have to actually, do something? If I take a shower, well, then that's all I can do today because I'll be so exhausted. I'll have to lie down. And so, that was her life, and it just was terrible. So for her, she just took that chance to come to us and to see us. And when we did our 21-day protocol, I remember the fourth or so day, she already came in without her wheelchair, just on her cane. And it was just going up from there. And now, it's great that she's here because she's swimming and building up her muscles even more, and just really fabulous. And the sun, we all know vitamin D.
And I want to ask a question. When she first came to you, and you put it through the program, did you know instantly what the problem was?
I did not know instantly. And I always want to say I don't diagnose because I'm not a doctor. But what I do is I just assess. I evaluate with the tools that I have. And one of the tools that I have is listening. Believe it or not, listening is one of the biggest things. Go back and see, okay, so when did this start? What happened emotionally? What happened? What were you doing? All those different things. So that's a very important part. Then my other tool I have is the muscle testing. And that is a form to see what is your body responding to. And it's an amazing tool because our infinite unconscious self knows exactly what's going on. Subconscious knows exactly what's going on. And so when I muscle tested her with these vials that I have, different toxins, dioxin came up, which is one of the biggest toxins that is hitting all the young girls. And then again, I'm not diagnosing, I'm just saying she came up with 3 different Lyme vials that I have. Now, Lyme, when you have Lyme disease, what happens is you get a brain fog. Sorry, I'm getting it too myself now. And you get pain everywhere. And I've had people that just say they just can't walk anymore. And the thing is, the doctors don't really know what to diagnose, that's why they just say it's chronic fatigue. They don't know what the root cause is. And she went to not hundreds, but 10, 12 really phenomenal specialists, and they couldn't really find the root cause. And that's why, because this frequency of Lyme is just not detectable in a blood result the way that we can detect it with the muscle testing. And once I detoxed her from it, she got better. So it just has to be that, right? It's just That's just what it was, because that's how she got better. Once we got rid of the dioxin, the heavy metals, and the frequency of the Lyme, she got better. So
you had another client that we had on the show who had been through numerous a hysterectomy in her teens. I mean,
yes, right.
Things that are unheard of, right? I can't imagine having your teenage daughter be sent for a hysterectomy for pain, not even for cancer, but for pain, and still having the pain, right? It's bad enough to make that decision. It has altered her life. And ultimately she came to you and feels so much better. And you do non-surgery. I want people to realize you are not a doctor. You are not a surgeon. What you do is totally different. You work with detoxing through frequency.
Right, exactly. I work the three aspects. So I have, the first thing I do is I again, like I said, listen to the patient and see where's there an emotional connection, because there always is. There always is something that triggers you, right? There always is. So I look at that, and then through Psyche and through Reiki and through meditation, we address that. Then we look at those toxins and we see, okay, what toxins are bothering your body? Because if we have a toxic overload, we don't get enough oxygen into our cells, and our cells don't heal then as well. So by reducing the toxins in the body, now the body can start healing. And then we do laser therapy and that IQ machine to bring energy into the body so it heals faster. So it's really a combination of things. It's not just one thing. And I think that's why it's so great that you have this platform, and Tracy is fabulous with her red light therapy and, her healing and all that. And it's just really, as a group, we all come together and heal on different levels and can combine this healing. And even it would be fabulous if we in the medical field add that, because as I always say, in an emergency situation, we need the medical field, but then we could come in and help with the lasers and increase the healing, and then get rid of the toxins that maybe were put in after surgery, because you have toxins then from the anesthesia and all that. That's really my life goal and my life purpose, to see how could we merge this all together and be much more successful. I just keep saying, if there's any way that we could have helped with the coronavirus that's going on right now, because they're saying that it's really the body that doesn't have enough oxygen. So the cells are not having enough oxygen. And I know for 100% sure that if we could get in there with our 40-watt laser and laser everybody and give oxygen through the laser in these lungs, we would be able to help so much. And it's just sometimes so frustrating to know that we could help, and we just can't.
We just can't do that right now. I know. We don't want to expose you to anything as well. It's interesting because you have a lot of clients that come in not only locally, they fly in and they stay locally for 21 days, and they go through your protocol from other countries, from other states, people who just feel as if they don't know. Unfortunately, you're their last result, but fortunately, they have you as an option to be their last result, right? So it's a double sword here.
Right. Well, what I like actually about them having to come here is it's so interesting. Those patients that actually come from far away, and they come in and they stay in a place, and they come 2 times a day for 21 days, they can go home and rest. Up until now, they've had 100% success rate. My last patient was a trigeminal one, like Lee had, and she was on a lot of medication. She was in unbelievable pain. She just couldn't even eat. Well, I'm still in contact with her. It's been now, I think, 5 months, and she's still pain-free off all her medication. She's doing fabulous and wonderful. And really what I'm noticing is part of this healing has to be commitment, number one. And number two, really taking time to heal. The people that live here, they still have to work. So they're coming in for treatment, but they're going back and they're stressed because they missed, they have to squeeze this in lunchtime or after work. And so they're still in their stressful environment, which really leads me to believe that stress is so important, right? I mean, stress is going to really exacerbate your disease and your pain. So a big part of why this 21 day is so important is you get away and you come here and you completely focus on yourself. 100% healing on yourself. And that's why I think the out of state is really so important and is so successful.
What I find interesting about being home at this this juncture for all of us, as much as we're working, and Freddie's going to disagree because his cup is empty at the moment, that as hard as we're going, and we're still working from 6 a.m. until, 8, 9 o'clock at night, until you can't keep your eyes open. There is just a shift in what you can do at home. Maybe you can breathe a little bit more. Maybe you get to go outside. Maybe you're interacting with a family member more than you would. Maybe you're sleeping a little bit more. There's a little bit of a shift in healing.
Yes.
It's, I see for me, it has taken me home to be here for 2 weeks to maybe go through some paperwork. I didn't do it on day 1 or day 2, but if you do, a little bit each day, I'm getting through a little bit of things.
Right.
I think that's part of what you're doing. But I also think all these toxins that we've now exposed ourselves to by cleaning and spraying and disinfecting and staying confined in this air conditioning world that we live in, a whole lot of more people are going to need what you're offering.
Right. The Thieves is going to really be a great product. Actually, right now, it's there's a waiting list because there are so many people now wanting these Thieves products, so there's a waiting list for that as well. So we just have to be all, we have to learn patience. And I think this time is a very important time for all of us to learn that. And I was thinking this morning that I was looking at this. I think, how we have an intervention when somebody does something, is drinking or so. I think this is a universal intervention. That's how I was looking at it this morning. I said, I think it's the universe having an intervention with us all on a level to be like, stop it for a second, open your eyes, find what is your inner peace. And like you were talking about before, I love that that subject that you were saying, who am I? Like you were talking about that before. And I thought this is really a moment to think, about who am I? Like, am I willing to continue this path that I'm on? I'm not healthy. Am I willing to just blindly, take medications instead of actually addressing the root cause and eating and drinking water and working out and all this? I really believe this is a time for us all to just say, stop a minute. Let's rewind. We don't want to go back to the way it is or was. So many people say, when are we going to go back to that time? I don't want to go back to that time because that time was horrible. Let's go back to a new time. Let's go back to a time where we, again, appreciate each other, appreciate life, where we appreciate ourselves, and really start thinking about who am I? And I'm doing some Reiki sessions, and it's been really nice. I'm doing Reiki over Zoom, and people can become Reiki 1 certified through Karman Care because I'm a teacher. And I'm teaching people how to address their root chakras. I have a little paper over here. I don't know if you can see that. See, I have a little paper here. So we do meditations and we adjust our chakras and we become balanced. And I have one of the meditations, which would be perfect for who am I, is you visualize yourself standing in front of you and you look at yourself. And you really look at yourself from the side and from the front and see who are you and what is it that you want to be and what is it that you're doing and what is it that you want to change, and meditate on that and give yourself permission to do that and to change. And so I have a lot of little meditations that I do. I look at different things of the map of consciousness of Dr. David Hawkins. That's really great. That's all energy as well and frequency. And so we move up. So when we're in the frequency of let's say anger, we're at about 150 and we want to be at about 1,000. The higher we can vibrate, the higher we're going to be as a person, the more awake we're going to be, the better we'll heal, the better we can take this stress on to us. So we move through meditation up and up and up. So we can say, okay, we're at anger. What can we do now to move up at forgiveness or courage or love? And so we do those kind of meditations too. And that's helping myself. You always say when you teach, you actually are healing yourself. And I'm finding that because while I'm teaching, I'm actually, going through this myself. And it was so nice. I did a Reiki session last week and then I was watching them heal with their hands. And it's really great with Zoom because they're doing it. They have their Zoom on. And so I'm watching them heal. And I had this music on in the background. I had these 2 couples healing themselves. I swear I cried. I started crying. It was so beautiful. And the great thing with energy that you can even feel it over a computer. There's no barrier. You can really feel the love that came from those 2 couples was unbelievable. And it was so beautiful that it even gave me healing.
Leslie,
Sorry.
Yeah.
one of the things that I wanted to bring up that my partner here is probably going to criticize me for is that people who are healing, people that are healing of this virus, those lungs, if that's where it attacked them, or their body, that body's not going to be the same. Because you heal, it doesn't mean that you are going to be completely out of the woods. You have to be careful, correct? I mean, this is the information I was told.
Yep.
So when I look at you, is that people have to come in and take the laser therapy, increase the blood flow in the lungs. I think that the new norm for you is going to be to change what we were doing, come back to this healing process, so that even if you are healed, were healed, exposed, or think you were exposed, your body's not going to be the same if it has been. Is that correct?
Absolutely. There's going to be some scar tissue in the lungs. I mean, I would assume that that's what is going to happen. And the laser will be an amazing tool to help rebuild that scar tissue, because that's what laser is specifically there for, is to rebuild that scar tissue. Break it down and rebuild the lungs. And I agree with you completely. We're going to focus a lot after this when we're back in our clinic and focus on wellness. Like, don't be preventative, like prevent this from attacking you, and so that if it does, you're strong, because there are a lot of younger people that are healthy and they're recuperating from this. So this is not a death sentence, but it is if you don't have a good immune system. So we absolutely want to be able to build up your immune system with laser and detoxing and wellness, and I think that's what we're very much going to focus on when we get back to the clinic.
Strengthening your immune system. You're going to have a whole lot more of a captive audience to do this.
Yep.
Because it's going to be the trick effect to get back into society, and people saying, you know what, it's time to do me. All the stuff here that we talk about, now it's really time to do that.
Right. Well, maybe now I have a captive audience and they're going to listen. They're going to know what they mean. Up until now, nobody knew what does that mean, immune system, but now they're going to understand, because that's what everybody's talking about.
It increases the knowledge of the mind, getting to know yourself, getting to know your body, and now getting to know everything around you, because a society, I saw a documentary, Americans, people living in this country just aren't healthy. I mean, that you have a certain few who are athletic, don't go to the gym a lot. I understand that. But for the majority of our society, we could be healthier. How's that? Maybe that's a better statement. We could be better, healthier. Instead of chasing the rabbit, how to make a living all day long, maybe taking a couple of minutes a day for yourself, me included. I'm a diabetic, not because I was born this way, but because I ended up eating the wrong foods and doing the wrong things in my life. I understand. But getting back to Carmen Cares, I think that the important aspect here is to develop a new way of doing things. It's having a new protocol. And if you've been exposed or ill, you're going to be more valuable than anything else. Dawn, I read reports that if we're not careful, we can have another second wave of this stuff. And you're seeing it in some parts of China right now. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Again, you're always a vast world of uplifting knowledge. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be knowledgeable. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. This lady here, we have to put a helmet on her and a full gown, because what's going to happen is us as a society have to come to the understanding that you have to take better protocol, better measurements to make sure those lungs stay clear. I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm glad if all this blows over. Tomorrow, I wish it would happen. I just know the truth that when this is all over, you're going to have to find things that are going to help you. And I think that Leslie, you've seen what she's done. I've been exposed to it. I was a client. I've been there. I think it's going to be important to have a little bit of that going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Leslie, how can people reach out to you?
Well, call our main phone number, which is 561-405-9577. Leave your message there. We have an answering service, and just tell them your name and your phone number. And I usually call you back within about 5 minutes.
All right. Fantastic. Leslie, we love you so much. We want to bring you forward into, not right now. Sorry, I'm going to answer. because it's not like there's not other people in my house that could answer the phone, so we wouldn't want that to happen either, right?
That's funny.
It's a whole nother show for a whole nother day. We have our Amp Media Productions Network where you've been before to share what's happening, and let's pick a day, let's pick a time, and let's bring your information forward.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you do and keeping us all connected. And thank you for your love and your sharing. I love your show, and stay safe and take care of yourselves.
You as well. Let's go to commercial break. That's Leslie Carmen and my partner whose glass is now running on droplets. Please go fill your cup till it runneth over, Freddie, during commercial break.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com.
Does your business MobiPop? A new way to grow your business. Using a simple keyword, drive customers right to you with just a click. Customers will receive your personalized digital business card within seconds with all your contact information in one place, including a gallery of photos, videos, and clear call to action that drives sales. Promote your products and services or share a hot new listing with custom event pages and RSVP form, boosting qualified leads. Special offers and promotions are directly sent to your potential customers' phones with text campaigns, increasing foot traffic and creating a loyal following. Let MobiPop drive your marketing campaign. Focus on your business. Let MobiPop focus on growing it.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. And Steve O from New York Sound says,
What's he
says,
saying?
"Hi, how you doing?" He said, "Hi, how you doing?"
How you doing, everyone? We got Wayne from Dignity Memorial, and it was funny when Aaron was coming on this morning. He goes, well, that's an interesting commercial with Dignity Memorial. It's such a great commercial, and I haven't talked to Wayne this week. I don't know if you have, but, wow, hard to believe tomorrow's Friday already. To bring him back on and see, listen, when Wayne is busy, it's not a good thing. However, this is something that happens to everyone, everywhere. The mortality rate is 100% no matter where you are. And Dignity Memorial is there to help you put everything in place and what you need to do. It's totally a change of the times. It's a change of everything. But I think Leslie's right. I think this is a collective pause from the universe. And as Jay said, God couldn't have planned it better himself. Pretty much, this is what God has planned and said, you're all going to take a pause. And you're going to pause this week, particularly. This is the time to go back to the beginning. You go back to biblical and say, this is it. And I didn't realize until last night when Ashley said, she was explaining to us Easter and Passover, that when Jesus went into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, Thursday was Passover, which was then followed by Friday as Good Friday. And here we all sit in this, then in the space that everyone was in the same of unification. And here we are now back to the same exact Thursday night, which tonight, for symbolism purposes, is Passover, our second night. Tomorrow is Good Friday and Sunday is Easter Sunday. So if you can't see the messages being sent, I don't know how much clearer they could be being sent to us, right?
Well, I think a lot of people right now are so inundated with everything going on around them and in shock. I believe that people have a shock theory going around. I think that you're going to see it this weekend, next week, that people are going to start being more receptive to what's going on. They're going to, like Jay said, they're going to find out who they are. And I think you just got to give people a second to catch their breath, because nobody's ever seen anything like this. This is in our time. This doesn't mean that it didn't happen in biblical times, but nobody knows how to sit and say, wow, what do I do now? They don't see the things that you see. They don't see the hope. They don't see that you have an opportunity to do this and do this and do this. And then you have to be careful, because there are people out there who are smarter than the average bear, and they will take advantage of fear. And that's one of the problems that I have right now. People taking advantage of fear, saying, well, let's do it my way because your way doesn't work anymore. And that isn't necessarily true. So there's a lot of factors going on right now. And I'm not being gloom or doom. I'm just being careful. Because, I was told that we have a responsibility. Keeping our interns home, it's a must. You look at Hector and his situation. You look at Jonathan and his mom's situation. You got to look at Teddy and her father. These are things you got to do. Not because you want to do it, but because you have to do it.
Absolutely, 100%. We got to keep our interns safe. We got to keep our kids safe. Got to keep you safe. Jay, everyone has to stay safe. Everyone knows in their heart what they need for their body. You have to trust your body. You have to understand what pre-existing conditions you have, what limitations you have, what strength you have, right? We're not only looking at our limitations, but look at our strengths of what it is. And you got to push and you got to do. You know what happened yesterday? I didn't even tell you this. Yesterday was just an exhausting show for me. For whatever reason, I don't know, there are some days that just take a lot out of me. And I sit in this room and I get cold. I took my lunch outside, which in and of itself was a feat that I actually had lunch. I sat outside on the lounge chair, I ate my lunch, and I fell asleep. Remember you texted me and you're like, where have you been? I didn't want to tell you. I fell asleep by the pool. In my clothes, in everything I was on air with my sandwich and my earrings in my hand. I fell asleep on the lounge chair and I thought, holy smoke, I can't believe in the middle of the day I did that. And nobody bothered me because they said, you never do that. No one even came outside. The dog, nobody said boo. But this is, I guess, the space of what we all need to heal. And you and I go 1,000,000 miles a minute and we push, and keeping up with you is no easy feat. But I try to just stay close to it. But I guess your body finally says you just got to rest when you can rest. And then you go right back at it again. Janine told me she had a horrible migraine yesterday, to the point where she had to throw up a couple times. And there's a lot of things going on, a lot of environmental changes, a lot of stress, things that we never realized our bodies were taking in, and now we're taking notice of it.
And that stress creates an immune system that gets squished down. It opens up to having allergies, and then you get colds and you get sore throats, and all of a sudden you go into panic because you think you have the virus, and you lock yourself in a closet and you're quarantined and they're feeding you food under the door, and it just happened to be that you had allergies. Listen, I've heard it all. I've lived through this whole thing, watching what other people, how they're reacting. I got friends of mine in New York that are sending me people from my own neighborhood, where I lived for 17 years on Hollywood Avenue in the Bronx, and everybody there has died. There were seniors, a lot of seniors that lived there, and they've moved on. So all I'm saying is just be careful, and don't be courageous. Even Superwoman over here, don't be a Superman. Don't be courageous. Just think before you do.
Always.
There's a lot of information that we're trying to send your way so you can get it. A lot of people that we've met over the last 5 years of doing this show, and we've done over 1,256 shows. A lot of interviews, a lot of information. People are pouring forward trying to do this thing. We have a new platform so they can do their own, because they know nobody knows their product better than they know themselves.
Right.
And it will get back, not to normal, but it will get back to where we're going to do a new and improved normal. How's that?
Absolutely. With a little more self-care and a little more time with families. And I was saying this morning, it takes me back to post-World War II, when nurses, everyone back to nursing school. Our education was flooded with teachers. Look now where we're at, right? Our teachers who are on the lowest pay. What are you laughing at?
You were there during post-World War II?
Apparently I must have been. Me and Florence Nightingale. But, you know, we talk so much about how teachers are undervalued and underpaid. Right now, our educational system, our teachers, they're working and they're getting paid and they have job security right now. Some of, you know, our healthcare workers, I was very saddened to hear, though, that the Jackson Memorial System has laid off some of their healthcare professionals because they're not doing certain surgeries and they're not doing certain patient care and the money's not coming in. To me, as a public hospital, that saddens me tremendously because that's who we need on the front lines. But again, our healthcare providers are who's coming forward on our front end. The people who are at the grocery store bagging groceries, you never thank them, do you? Your delivery people. Now's the time to say, you know, a collective thank you. It puts the focus back on the service industry versus some of these other industries that were making so much money. But it's going to change. Things will change. And things will come back for sure. The Grammys might be a little bit different, the Oscars, all that stuff. But you hug your family a little bit tighter and you know what works and you got to appreciate what you've got. And you, Mr. Joy and Happiness over there, maybe we need to change the color of your hat. Maybe we need to put like a red feather in it like Yankee Doodle Dandy. I don't know. We got to do something to uplift your outlook because...
Listen, baseball, they're going to play baseball in empty stadiums. And they're going to put screens of people all over the world watching it because the numbers are going to be so phenomenal that whatever platform they're going to use is going to crash. I can tell you that right now because people are dying for sports. They're dying for baseball, football, hockey, something. And you know the demand always dictates what's going to happen. And they're keeping a lid on this thing. But you watch, when baseball comes, it's going to seem like the good old hot dog, apple pie, and beverage deal. You're going to do it from your home. Things are going to change. The object of the game is that those that don't change with it are going to have a hard time. It's really what it comes down to.
Yep, it's more than pivoting. But actually, we had Lauren Cohen on yesterday, and I'm going to give her a call today or tomorrow and talk about some of the things that you and I have been talking about for years, but we haven't had a moment to stop and actually do some of these things. And this is not even pivoting. This is taking the opportunity to do things that we know in our hearts make a difference to who we are as our company and our crew and our interns that I think will make a difference in what we're able to do and help them because it is bigger than you and me. And that's what people, I don't know if they realize it or not, but our crew is what keeps us going. What they do for us keeps us going. And I want us to be able to give back to them in a different capacity than we have. Right now, we are a small business. We have far less than 500 employees. And it takes every single one of them and their gifts and their geniuses and their uniqueness to do what we do uniquely. That is what keeps us differentiated from everybody else out there, as well as everybody else's business. So I'm going to give Lauren a call and see how we can help, find that silver lining in what we're doing.
Exactly. And I'm hoping that what we have taught, I call them our kids, right? I'm hoping that what we taught our kids will carry them through this fight. We've always told them nobody ever quits. There isn't anybody who quits, Teddy included. Nobody quits. We find a way. If it doesn't work, we brush it off and we keep going and we find a way. Like Hector once told me, he's learning how to be the bravest man alive. And he is a man, he is a grown man. And the bottom line here is if we taught anything, if I taught one word with these kids with you, is the one thing is you never quit. You find a way and you take it to tomorrow. And we've always said, and everybody will tell you, are you the best at what you do? Absolutely. No grounds, no gray area, nothing. And we will continue to push. We'll continue to find a way. And we try to stay in touch with a lot of them. I know that they're all over the place, but you got to ground yourself and you got to believe in you. It's like Jay say, find out who you are. And when you were with us, we uncovered that with a lot of them. A lot of them, when we told them, you have to be bigger. You got to be bolder. And if there's ever a time that that message is going out to everybody now, everybody inclusive that's watching or hearing us today, be better. Push deep down in your core because you are better. Don't give in to fear. You will not go quietly in the night. You're going to keep going. Are there bad days? Do people die? Yes. Do people get sick? Yes. But I'm going to tell you, my friend, just because I give you one side of the deal doesn't mean that I'm not on my horse and I'm going to race to that hill. I am here, and I'm not going away. I'm just going to find another way to get there. That's all, because it has to work consistently. That is the nature of a champion.
And, you know, people who see what we're doing, and people should be a little more accepting of knowing that it takes technology to do the things that we do. And technology is not perfect. Everyone should be a little bit more understanding because we are all, every single one of you, every single one of us, we are absolutely all doing the best we can do in this situation. And when you look in the mirror every night and say, you know what, I did the best I can do. If that's not good enough for somebody else, I don't know what to tell you. But if you can go to bed at night and love you, as Leslie says, you look at you and analyze you and say, you know what, I did the best I can do for me today. That's all anyone can ever do. And if someone else is not good enough for them, then I don't know what to tell you. But we all, everyone, every single person right now is trying to do the best they can do.
You know, you and I, we had clients that were taken down a different path. And they decided to go down this different path. And they came back and they said that that path was not, look at this, they're giving me something to eat here. That path was not beneficial for them. And they came back and we talked about reestablishing what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. And I'm sad to say that they had to learn the lesson that way. But consistency, doing something over and over again that works and is consistent, that is the nature of success. It is the ROI, the way Jen G tells me all the time, ROI is important. But in order to establish ROI, you have to have a message that works. You gotta have a product that works, a needed product. You need to be able to give off that message. You have to be able to deliver it so that people understand what it is you're trying to explain to them. You put all those ingredients together and you do that day in and day out. You do it for years. If you can do that day in and day out, you got a winner. If you could do it for one day, that doesn't make you a winner. 2 days, you got to be able to do this day in and day out. If you can't do that, then you have to question what it is you're doing.
And I have to say, before we end, I need to thank you because this was my plan B, right? Stepping in and taking a leap of faith and doing this was a plan B for me. And what we have done now, this was not a 90-day trial as we do, you know, all of our contracts say 90 days, 13 weeks. And when I started with you, my coach said, give it 90 days. And that was, wow, 4 years ago. We're going on a 4-year anniversary next month of what you and I have been doing together, far more than 90 days. And we keep going and growing and doing. And we've learned a lot. We've grown a lot. We've met tremendous people and clients and friends and colleagues along the way. And like you said, you keep going. And this is not anything we used to do when I first met you all those years ago. And we've done it. So you know what? Believe in your dreams. I always tell my daughter, you know, dreams can come true, and the horse or whatever you believe in, and the prince and the white knight and anything that Disney World and me and my magic believe in, it does exist, but you got to work for it. You got to find it. You got to find it. Go for it. Yeah. And it's there.
And listen, and there's going to be another 5 years of growth and learning. And we're going to go and we're going to get better and we're going to continue in consistency and we're going to do what we do. We're not going to stop.
Nope, we keep going. We keep going. Tonight you have Ask the Experts at 6 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock we've got Becky and Boca show, and she did some filming of her own. So we're going to be sharing that on WWNN 95.3, 96.9, 103.9, and 1470 AM. So you can check that out. And then tomorrow we lead back here at 9 a.m. We've got some great digital marketing strategies, different shows coming on. And then, of course, we go into the Love Hour with Kenny Love. We got a call with him today. We've got the Momentum Mindset show. So we have not stopped. We have not gone quietly into the good night, as they say. We are going full steam ahead because that's what we do. And fortunately, we are able to do it wherever we are able to do it from. And again, a very huge collective thank you to Teddy for everything she does, to Fuego for they keep going and growing every day, Slick Speaks, and all the shows that we're able to continue to do every morning between our morning show and this one.
That's right. Fuego goes on 11 to 11:30 or 11 to a quarter to 12. It all depends on how busy they are. They got phone calls from all over the world today. Check it out. It's Fuego on Facebook.
So a lot to come. Well, Freddie, smile. All I can tell you is, you know what? There is hope. There is the light coming through, and we're going to get through this. We're getting through this one step at a time. And I'm looking forward to getting my care package from your CBD store. I know they dropped it off yesterday with a few little goodies. Because I got to tell you, last night I could have used one of those CBD bath bombs. I definitely could need it, and the migraine cream as well. Those are two things that I'm looking forward to getting from you. So we'll get that next time at the studio. We've got a lot more coming up. So you can contact your CBD store anywhere in the U.S. or abroad. They will send these sample products. If you are on the first responders line, if you are a nursing home, an ALF, a healthcare provider, anyone, contact them, your CBD store in Boca, Boynton, Singer Island, or Pembroke Pines, or let us know and we will get the information to them. They are sending out sample packs of all of their skincare lines of CBD. And luckily, they've been throwing in a few bonuses. So they really, really have been truly, truly incredible.
Excellent. Excellent store. Look into them. Maybe we do another campaign where we can have people call in or write in and get them motivated. That's really what it's all about.
Okay, everyone. Have a wonderful Thursday. Happy Passover. Again, if you celebrate tonight as the second night, my stories will be coming to you tomorrow. I am sure how our Seder went down. Be kind to each other, and we will see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Same place.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.